Good morning and welcome to the Quapaw Nation Business Committee meeting for Saturday, August 21st, 2021. At this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order. And with that, Michelle, could you lead us in invocation, please?
Sure. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, Lord, and we thank you, Lord, for the rain. We pray, Lord, that you'll be here today with us, Lord, and help guide our discussions, our decisions, Lord, our actions, Lord. Help us, Lord, for our people to understand how much we do care and how much, Lord, that we want to put you first in every decision that we make, not just today, but every day. We pray, Lord, that you be with those that, Lord, that are hurting, whether it be physical or mentally or financially, whatever it is, Lord, that we pray that you'll be with them and show them that, Lord, that you care. Be with those, Lord, that are hurting, Lord, that are mourning, Lord, those that they have lost in our family and our friends. And I just pray that you'll wrap your arms around them as well. I ask again, Lord, today that you'll be with us and guide us in this meeting, Lord. And we just thank you for all the many blessings that you give us. And in your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate those words. If we could, Mr. Secretary Treasurer, roll call.
Jeremy. Present. Lloyd.
Present.
Zach.
Here.
Michelle.
Present.
Guy. Present. Callie.
Present.
Joseph.
Present.
Quorum.
Okay, we have a quorum for today, and I think it'd be worth noting, I made the conscious decision to make this a closed meeting roughly a month ago. At that time, I was looking at our COVID variant numbers, and in order to maintain our safety amongst our tribal people, our tribal citizenry, we made the conscious effort to make this a closed meeting today. And, with the parking lot being renovated and really torn up, it would have been difficult to have everybody here. And really, the main purpose of us having it is everyone's safety. And so I know that there are a few dissenters, if you will, asking, well, if we're having closed meetings, why aren't we having the tribal administration offices shut down, or why aren't we having the casino shut down? And it's my belief and it's my position that the tribal administration office, we do not want any interruption to services for our people. We want to be able to maintain fluidity to administer those programs. And then on the casino operations side, we've seen what the effect can be when we do close our casino operations. And I think Mr. Secretary Treasurer was telling me this morning that it cost roughly $137,000 a day just to keep the lights on and to keep it maintained, all of our casinos up and running. And that's something that would be devastating to our operations. And we need that in order to continue our programming, continuing our seamless service to our citizens. So with that, that's the purpose of this closed meeting today. Sorry if we've offended anyone for that, but to me, our safety is of utmost importance during this time of COVID variant. So with that, we'll drop down into the reading, correction, and approval of minutes and phone polls.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion to approve by Guy and a second by Callie. Any discussion?
Question.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Okay. Reading, correction, approval, minutes and phone polls passes. Next up, approval of the treasurer's report.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Callie and a second by Michelle. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Any abstentions? The treasurer's report passes and is approved. Next is the approval, disapproval of directors and subcommittee reports submitted.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve by Lloyd,
Second.
second by Michelle. Sorry, Zach, she beat you. Any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstention? Okay, directors and subcommittee reports have been submitted and are approved. And if you'll notice, we're dropping down into new business without any of the directors' reports for the time being. We, again, because this is a closed session meeting, we value the safety of our employees, and we wanted to make it as easy as possible with their reports. We've been updated on their directors' reports, and it's in our packet. And we'll be making some the relevant announcements that we'll need to in the open forum section of the agenda today. So with that, we'll drop down into new business. We have several resolutions that we have up for discussion on the agenda today. The first resolution I'd like to discuss in our very first order of business today is the matter of the bear settlement. It's always been the position of the business committee that the bear settlement funds should be evenly distributed among all Quapaw tribal members. It has been stated and repeated numerous times since even I came into office and even before office that the bear settlement was going to be an equal distribution to every Quapaw tribal member that was enrolled before September 27th, 2019. And so just as a kind of an update, at the end of July, the Secretary Treasurer and I met with our congressional delegates in Washington, D.C. While we were there, we had productive discussions with representatives and senators, gathering their support to move our bill through the congressional process. On July 27th, 2021, Representative Mullen and Representative Cole introduced H.R. 4715, which authorizes appropriations to the Secretary of the Interior to make payments to certain members of the Quapaw tribe in accordance with the recommendation of the United States Court of Federal Claims. Certain members include all descendants of the Quapaw members on the 1961 distribution rolls, and it's laid out in Section 2 of the bill that contains the official recommendation to the House of Representatives that the claimants be awarded and paid a total sum of $137,500,000. The short title of the bill drew concern from certain members over the choice of language, which is the same language that has been used throughout the settlement process and was previously agreed to by all parties. But it's also important to note that short language of a bill can be amended throughout the congressional process, and it will likely change as we continue down the process of pushing this bill forward. In the meantime, the business committee would like to reassure our tribal members of our position by bringing this resolution forward today that calls for an equal distribution of the bear funds and really extinguishing any false rumors or narrative that would have us do anything else but see an equal distribution for all members who were enrolled before the September 27th 2019 cutoff. And so that's where we're at with the first resolution. Michelle, would you mind introducing that?
Resolution number 082121-8, a resolution to equally distribute to each enrolled member of the Quapaw Nation as of September 27, 2019, the entire settlement proceedings of $137,500,000 from the case of Thomas Charles Bear et al. Claimants versus United States, defendant case number 13-51X, filed in the United States Court of Claims, and to establish the Bear Litigation Settlement Fund to ensure equal distributions to all enrolled members of the Quapaw Nation as of September 27, 2019, who are living at the time of the settlement funds are received by the Quapaw Nation.
Thank you, Michelle.
I'd like to move to adopt.
We have a motion to adopt this resolution by Guy. We have a second.
I'll second.
Second by Callie. And next we'll move to discussion.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Guy.
Oh, I did want to say a couple things, I guess, and then, I'd like to thank all of our tribal members who reached out to us personally regarding their opinions on this trust litigation. I think those who sought answers from us personally rather than being blindly led over a cliff of sort of misinformation or fear, it really has gone a long way for us. It has always been the stance of this business committee and this administration that any monies appropriated through BEAR would be equally distributed amongst now the 5,290 living tribal members on or before September 27th, 2019. This has always been our position, and it will continue to be our position. What we did not agree with was that it should be distributed at an amount of $15,000 per person paid out over 5 years. I would like to make that abundantly clear that that is something that we do not agree with. Public concern began after the publishing of the short title of the bill, which contained the terms certain and landowners. These were terms that were used by the House of Legal Counsel, which are the attorneys for the members of Congress. I guess those of you that took civics in high school realize that the short title of the bill has no consequence. It could be titled the Donald Duck Bill. It has no material difference. What matters is the language in the body of the bill, which was copied over word for word from the final settlement approved by the U.S. Court of Claims, the chief judges, and the review panel, word for word. So these descriptors were carried over and then ultimately used by legal counsel for Congressman Cole when it was referred in 2012, and then ultimately now with the introduction of the Authorization Bill. To clarify, the term certain does in fact refer to the number of citizens who were enrolled on or before September 27th, 2019. Since then, there have been almost over 500 new members that have enrolled since that September date and are not included in the lawsuit. Hence the term certain, and that has been the case from the very beginning. But I guess further, it does sadden me to see such fervent belief that this administration would support any distribution that would be inequitable by favor of individual landowners. These theories are false. However, if this current petition that's being circulated and this resolution can memorialize the tribal government's position and bring about peace of mind for our tribal members, this business committee is in full support of it. I think rumors or conspiracies surrounding some nefarious distribution plan are not true, but really they're not helpful. I think that this promotes concern amongst members. It also promotes concern amongst our delegates. I think that injures our tribe's credibility and would ultimately only prolong the funding of this settlement itself. I think the only desire of this committee is to get everybody on the same page and focused on the same unified goal, and it would be authorization and lobbying Congress. Our tribal government needs to stay focused on this because I can't oversell how difficult of a process this is going to be. As an example, Porch Creek Tribe in Alabama has a very similar trust settlement to ours. It is a settlement fund at about $90 million. They reached their settlement and introduced their bill to Congress over 11 years ago, and they are still waiting for congressional action. We hope to expedite that process by learning from some of their missteps, perhaps some of their lobbying mistakes, and perhaps some of their efforts on the Hill and where their piece of legislation has been stuck. But this is still going to be a long and challenging process. So make no mistake, the introduction of this House bill is no indication that payment is imminent. And they do not call it an act of Congress for nothing. And that is what is required. So with that said, I'm encouraged by the amount of civic engagement that I've seen amongst our tribal members, and I'd like to encourage you to contact your district congressman and voice your support for the authorization of the bear settlement by voting in favor of H.R. 4715. We could use all the help we can get in the efforts of holding the United States government responsible for any of these monetary damages. We plan to have a template letter available for tribal members to send to their area congressman, and we will have this made available on our website in the near future. But finally, I think in the wake of tribal members' concern, and some of it has turned to either bickering through social media over money that may or may not be authorized by Congress, it appears that some people have completely lost perspective on the genesis of this lawsuit. The damages litigated in bear certainly affect all our elders and ancestors. Sure, historically, ancestors suffered. Our ancestors suffered the same way that members of every other tribe have suffered. Through acts of subjugation from white settlers as well as the U.S. government. But do not get confused. If it were not for the mines, there would be no lawsuit. If it were not for tribal members, our elders that traveled back and forth to D.C. to provide testimony, they pledged thousands of hours and years of their own time and money in order to make this happen. There wouldn't be a settlement if it weren't for them. There's a small group of people that you should be eternally grateful for, and that I am eternally grateful for, because they made unbelievable sacrifices for the betterment of all of us. Several of them are still here with us, and several of them have walked on. My belief is that this continued divide is discourteous or ungrateful, unappreciative of the time, energy, and efforts and money sacrificed by those tribal members who made all of this possible for the rest of us. So my sincerest hope is that we can put this issue to rest and stay focused on a unified goal of moving forward and honoring and respecting and being grateful for the sacrifices made by several who have helped make this happen. One of which I can see right now on Zoom, Miss Gracie. I'd like to say thank you to you personally and everybody else that's made this happen. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Secretary Treasurer. Anyone else for discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Buffalo.
I would ask that, Guy mentioned a figure of 5291. That is not a firm figure at this time. I've contacted the enrollment clerk. We're going to go over it because there's some individuals on there deceased that there's no record of. And from personal information, we can verify and get a closer number of that, but it will be a little lower than 5291. I'll also say that I will support this resolution, but I would err if I didn't mention a petition which Guy referenced and another resolution. I firmly believe that when petition is presented, follows to the election ordinance, this committee should follow those ordinances. I believe that after the petition is certified and by the election committee, gone over by the enrollment committee as called for in the ordinance, that we should vote on that resolution in our September meeting. I firmly believe that. I will say that I know for myself and others on this committee, from day one, we've always supported equal distribution. I'll stand by that, and I've told people that, but somehow they don't believe. There's been a lot of fictitious stories told out there. I'll just reiterate some of them. I understand that the chairman changed the language, just landowners. I know that's fictitious. I also had an email that T. Barker, which I guess referenced Guy's dad, changed the language at the time it was passed, and I said that it's difficult for someone who isn't or wasn't on the committee to make any kind of changes on that. You know, there's all kinds of rumors out there. I would hope that the nation's members do not believe those rumors. I think you're hearing the true story from this table today, that we all support and have always supported equal distribution. I will vote on this resolution in the affirmative, plus I would look forward to voting on the other one in September in the affirmative.
Agreed.
Thank you, Lloyd. I think we can all agree with that. Anybody else have anything they'd like to add? Comment, question, discussion? If not, I'd like to say something on the matter as well. You know, I understand there's a petition circulating that calls for the business committee to pass a resolution for the equal distribution of the bear settlement. And, you know, our resolution, the business committee resolution that we've put forward today accomplishes just that. I feel like at this point, once it does pass, there should be no question what our intentions are for bear moving forward. And moving forward is what I am ready to do. I think we're all ready for that, for all of us to move forward with this and really put the minds of our members at ease and reassure them that the business committee remains committed to, you know, serving their interests. But it is also my hope that these rumors cease and we can carry on with the mission at hand, which is a successful approval of the funds from the federal government. But, you know, we remain committed. The business committee remains committed for an equal distribution. That's the goal. And we can achieve it here today by the resolution that we put forward once it passes. So.
Call for the question.
Okay. Moving out of discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstention? The motion carries and the resolution is adopted. So dropping down to the next resolution. Jeremy, if you could read that for me, please.
Resolution number 082121B, a resolution designating and appointing judges to the Quapaw Nation Court. As the Quapaw Nation is a federally recognized tribe or the tribe and is governed by the resolution also authorizing the Quapaw Tribal Business Committee to speak and act on behalf of the Quapaw Tribe of Indians as the governing resolution adopted by the Quapaw Indian Council on August 19, 1956, and approved by the Commissioner of Indian Affairs on September 20th, 1957. Now therefore be it resolved that the Business Committee of the Nation hereby designates and appoints the following individuals to serve in the Quapaw Nation's Court. A, A. Diane Hammonds is hereby designated as Chief Judge of the Quapaw Nation Court. B. John D. Douthit is hereby designated as Senior Judge of the Quapaw Nation Court. C. Andrew M. Casey is hereby appointed as Judge of the Quapaw Nation Court.
Alrighty, thank you. And I'll entertain a motion to adopt.
So moved.
We have a motion by Lloyd,
Second.
second by Michelle. Any discussion? Any discussion? I will add one piece here, just thanking and acknowledging our judge, Judge Hammonds, Judge Douthit, for their services that they've provided over the years to our tribal court, and then welcome Judge Casey as the judge of the Quapaw Nation Court as well. So just like to acknowledge and thank them for their service to our tribal court system. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstention? Okay, the resolution is adopted, designating and appointing judges to the Quapaw Nation Court. Dropping down, Mr. Buffalo, you mind taking that next one, please?
Resolution number 82121C, resolution to amend the ordinance charting the Quapaw Casino Authority of the Quapaw Nation. Brief synopsis of that, the action is taking the Quapaw Casino under the umbrella of the gaming facilities of the nation, Downstream Casino, Saracen Casino, and Quapaw Casino.
Okay. Thank you, Lloyd. I'll entertain a motion to adopt.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Guy, second.
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 Second by Michelle. Any discussion? Any discussion?
Question?
Lloyd, if I may, just to add a little color to this, I know you gave kind of a summary of what this charter actually entails, but for those that may be thinking this is kind of an abrupt change, just wanted to give more detail and more context to what it is that's actually happening here. Last year the Business Committee asserted its authority over the Downstream Development and the Saracen Development authorities by amending our tribal codes and gaming charters that established these boards. The Business Committee chose not to alter or amend the Quapaw Casino Authority Charter then. However, today it chooses to do so. The BC is tasked with speaking and acting on behalf of the nation. We are each duty-bound and obligated to transact tribal business, which includes adopting laws relating to gaming, tribal economic development, and establishing tribal enterprises. The Business Committee already performs the work of the QCA. We have weekly updates with Quapaw Casino General Manager. We receive daily financials of the operation, and ultimately the Business Committee, is fiscally responsible for all of our casino operations. And so this amendment of the charter only serves to bring the QCA into being consistent with the rest of our tribal enterprises. And I think it's important to note that the BC will not be assuming QCA compensation, and no bonus plan will be applied to us for that. And I would also like to acknowledge the members of the QCA for their service to our tribe, and thank them for providing their leadership to the QCA over the years. And I also want to encourage each of them to continue to serve and volunteer on other committees of our tribe. So I just want to put that out there. Any other discussion?
Call for the question.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Resolution amending the QCA charter is approved and adopted. Michelle, you mind taking that next one?
Resolution number 082121-D, A resolution authorizing the Quapaw Nation Business Committee members to conduct business with the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Whereas the Quapaw Nation Business Committee has determined that it is in the best interest of the nation to grant authority to the following individuals listed below to conduct business with the Bureau of Indian Affairs: Chairman Joseph Byrd, Vice Chair Callie Bowden, Secretary Treasurer Guy Barker, Member Lloyd Buffalo, Member Zach Turley, Member Michelle Newton, Member Jeremy Olson. Now therefore be it resolved, the Quapaw Nation Business Committee, that the individuals named above are hereby authorized to conduct business with the Bureau of Indian Affairs on behalf of the Quapaw Nation.
Move to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion to adopt by Guy and a second by Lloyd. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Any abstention? Okay. The resolution is approved and it's adopted. Dropping down, Resolution 082121E, authorizing the Quapaw Nation Business Committee to conduct business with the Office of the Special Trustee. Quapaw Nation Business Committee is delegated authority to speak and act on behalf of the Quapaw Nation and the following individuals below to conduct business with the Office of the Special Trustee, including all members of the Business Committee and Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Eric Boone. And I'll entertain a motion to adopt.
Move to adopt.
We have a
Second.
motion by Lloyd and a second by Guy. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
We'll put Zach down as a in favor aye. I think there's a lag there. Any abstention? Okay. Motion is approved and resolution is adopted. Next, Callie, you mind taking that one?
This is a resolution authorizing a right-of-way on trust land located under the jurisdiction of the Quapaw Nation for the use and a conservation easement, and to authorize the execution of the easement on behalf of the Quapaw Nation.
Move to adopt.
All right, we have a motion to adopt the resolution by Guy. We have a second.
Well, second.
We have a second by Callie. Any discussion?
Question.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Any abstention? The motion carries and the resolution is adopted. Next, Michelle, can you take that?
Resolution number 082121-G, a resolution to authorize payment to the restricted landowners for the use of a scale house and scales within the trust restricting land located under the jurisdiction of the Quapaw Nation, and to authorize the execution of the permit on behalf of the Quapaw Nation.
Move to adopt.
We have a motion to adopt by Lloyd,
Second.
second by Guy. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Any abstention? Okay, the motion carries and the resolution is adopted. Guy, you mind taking that one? The next one?
Resolution 082121-H. This is a resolution authorizing the notice of intent to apply for the Small Business Credit Initiative, or the SSBCI. This is a resolution formulating the stance of the Business Committee to go ahead and notify the Treasury Department of the Quapaw Nation's intent to go ahead and apply for relief through the American Recovery Plan specifically allocated for tribes that own and operate small businesses. Move to adopt.
We have a motion by Guy to adopt. Second.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? This doesn't really do anything, does it? It's more just a formality, telling them we're coming.
It's a resolution that basically notifies them that we intend to fill out an application at a later time. Sorry, we're sending in an application to send in another application later. Bureaucracy at work, baby.
Not by our choice, though. It's just the system that we operate in. Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed?
Aye.
Any abstention? Okay. The motion carries and the resolution is adopted. Dropping down to purchases. Would you mind taking this one? Yeah, give us a second. Pull up our notes here.
It explains it right here in the.
Okay, this is a purchase request for a crisis response system with throw phones. The source is grant funding from a 2018 Homeland Security grant in the amount of $92,552, and it appears all three vendors were contacted and responded for the purchasing quote. These devices will be used to evaluate the building and the scene of an attack, safely and effectively negotiate, forcefully and stealthily enter the scene of attack as well. And it seems like we've done business with them in the past. So they're already an established vendor with us, with the department.
Chairman,
Yes.
I will make a motion to purchase through Enforcement Technology Group.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the purchase, and then by Callie, and then a second by Guy. Any discussion? If there is no discussion, we'll call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries and the purchase is approved. The next one is from QSA Construction. Callie, you mind taking that one?
This is requesting approval of supplemental funding for the PPE storage from CARES Act BIA funds. The CDC grant is $259,000 and has an end date of June of 2022. They're asking for approval for an additional $285,000 to supplement the CDC grant in order to complete a 5,000 square foot building. The contract price is not final at this time. So one source would be CDC grant, and then the other source would be CARES Act funding. This is for a 5,000 square foot building that's going to be placed out towards Quapaw Casino for PPE equipment. I will make a motion to approve the supplemental funding for the PPE storage building.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the purchase by Callie and a second by Guy. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out how to amend this motion since the price is not final at this time. Could be more or less, so.
Could we amend it later if it needs to be changed, if it's going to go over?
Should be included within the motion, I would assume.
To not exceed.
Agree with that.
So I would like to amend the motion to say not to exceed.
We have a motion to amend the purchase request, and the stipulation is for it not to exceed what we have here on paper, which is $259,000 from a CDC grant, and then the supplemental $285,000 from CARES Act BIA funds.
I'd like to second the amendment.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to amend. Any discussion? No discussion. Steva, do you have the amendments, appropriate language? Or stipulations, I guess? If not, we can get it to you. Okay. So all those in favor for amending the purchase to include that stipulation of keeping it at that total, not to exceed that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Okay, now we need to approve the actual purchase request with the amending language stipulating the amount not to exceed.
Call for the question.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Okay. Motion is adopted and approved. The purchase is approved. J.O., you mind taking that next one?
Sure. Local Services Authority. Transmission rebuild for a 6RC transmission rebuild. $2,880. The price is going to be $44,110.92. Six. It is under warranty for
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the purchase by Guy and a second by Lloyd. Any discussion? Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor with approving the purchase signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries and the purchase is approved. Dropping down to our agreements. This is our yearly agreement with the Sac and Fox Detention Center. There is a change in the agreement, and the only change is the term. The actual term length of the agreement will go from a year to a 2-year agreement, and that is the only change happening. And it's time I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
A motion by Callie and a second by Michelle. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstention? Okay, the motion carries and the agreement is approved. And next up, we have a donation request form. The summary of the organization is the Miami fourth grade football team. The fourth grade football team will be taking a trip to Dallas, and they're taking a group of 25 football players to go to the AT&T Stadium to play on the home field of the Dallas Cowboys. And at this time, they're requesting, they didn't do a monetary amount, but they're submitting their donation request form to us. So getting notified that they have one tribal member on the team, and then also QCS employee son is on the team as well. And they say all donations are greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for your consideration and support.
I will make a motion for $500 to go to the fourth grade football team of Miami.
We have a motion from Callie to approve the donation request form in the amount of $500.
Second.
And we have a second by Lloyd. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries and the donation for $500 is approved. We wish you well and have fun at playing at the Dallas Cowboy Stadium. That's going to be an awesome opportunity and experience. Safe travels to those individuals as well. So dropping down out of donations, that brings us to open forum. And before I open up the floor, I'd like to just recognize and acknowledge some of the individuals that we've lost in the last month that are no longer here, and just to let them know that they're in our thoughts and our prayers, and we want to lift their family up during this time of grief and mourning. So with that, the individuals that I have are Grady Morgan Dow, Janice Blair, Wanda Gooseman, Clifton Beard, Blake Goodman, Judith Rogers, and if there are any other individuals at this time, I'll entertain those. If there are none, I'll call for a moment of silence now. Gay. Okay. Seeing as how we are in open forum now, the only announcement that I had that's kind of at the forefront of my mind is the funding deadline for college funding. All of the higher ed applications, if they follow that normal semester academic year schedule, their funding deadline is September 30th, so it's fast approaching. It's right around the corner. I encourage everyone that hasn't already taken the opportunity to apply for that to go ahead and do so. Krista, our education director, is patiently and optimistically waiting for those applications to roll in. And I think that's a good chance and opportunity for me to say good luck to all of our youth going back to school as they start back. I know some have already started, some are waiting to start back, but with this COVID-19 variant and just the world in general, it's a challenging time to be a youth, to be a student in the classroom. So I just want to send a message of positivity and encourage each of our people that are going and furthering their education to really just keep up the good work and keep representing for us. So, does anybody have anything they'd like to say? Okay, well, if not, we're going to move to open forum now.
So far, we have 3 in Zoom who would like to speak. First, I have Sean Ellick, then Catherine Supernall, and Kate Pratt.
Take them in that order.
All right, Sean Ellick, I'm asking you to unmute.
Good morning. I just wanted to give a little follow-up on the fundraiser that we had at the end of the month last month. We had a good turnout. Had about 12 board dancers. I think about 6 or 7 of them singers. Then stomp dance, I think we had like 10 leaders. We had a very good afternoon of singing and dancing. Had a good evening of stomp dancing, and the total that they had raised was a little over $7,000 that afternoon for my granddaughter and my son and my daughter-in-law. And I just want to thank you all again for your donation to help put that on, and just thank you to everybody, the generosity and the love that y'all shared that afternoon. It was pretty powerful. It meant a lot. But I just wanted to tell y'all thank you and give you a report on what happened, how it turned out. So that's all I had.
Hey, Sean, just want to say, thank you for your remarks. And you definitely, your family has been on our mind and our thoughts and prayers during this time. It's a difficult thing. It's a challenging time for you and your family, and just know that we're here to support you. And I understand that there may be some additional fundraising events in the future that you plan on doing as well.
We're going to have, next Saturday, they're having a breakfast over at the Father's House Church there in Miami. It's next Saturday morning. It's a $7 all-you-can-eat pancake feed, which you'll get. I can't remember what all they're having, but that's next Saturday morning. And then we got some other things coming up in a few months. Month by month, just kind of spread things out a little bit. So, and there's going to be a benefit football game on October 9th down here at Quapaw High School. The Joplin Crusaders, a team that both my boys and I played on back in the day, my boys play on now. They're going to play a team out of Kansas City, I think, is going to come down, and all the proceeds are going to go to the family for all their expenses and stuff like that. But yeah, we got more things. We got more drawings and raffles that we're going to do. And it's going to be a long road ahead of them. Just a little report on her. She finished her second round of chemo last. I think it was the first of this week. This last week she finished that. Her numbers kind of went down a little bit, but the doctors told Katie yesterday that Blakeland looks like a normal child again. Said they're going to go in and possibly do a scan on Monday, I think it is Monday afternoon, and see if the tumor has shrunk. If it has shrunk down enough, they're going to go ahead and go in and remove it, and then start her. They did her stem cell biopsy this last week on Thursday, I think it was, and they said it's just if it's down small enough, they'll take it out, and then we'll start the next sequence. But when we talk to her, it's like nothing's even wrong with her. Smiling, playing, just like she's not even sick. So
that's extremely great to hear. Thank you for that positive update. That's always good. And just know that, we continue to keep Blakeland in our thoughts and prayers and your entire family during this process. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean, you said that breakfast is next Saturday?
Next Saturday morning, yes.
Okay.
I think it starts at 7 to 11, I think, or 7 to 12.
Okay.
And it's at the father's house or something like that over there in Miami.
Okay. I'm going to leave a blanket at the office for you so that you have something for your raffle, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right, next up we will have Catherine Supernall. Catherine, I'm asking you to unmute.
Can you hear me okay? Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Hawaii. A quick question. Normally, approved resolutions are posted to the nation's website about a month later. Is it possible to have resolution 08-2121-A posted sooner, like as soon as possible? Thank you. Thank you. I did have one other question, and that is, it's really to Michelle, and it's really regarding some of the wording used in the HR 4715 appropriation bill. And I heard Secretary Treasurer Barker's discussion on the references to landowners, those inaccurate references to landowners as well as to certain Quapaws and what that really meant. But what steps are possible to update the language, especially the reference to the Department of Interior in that legislation? Is there anything that we can do? And if so, what can we do to help? And will that be addressed in the template or the letter that will be made available to all tribal members? Okay, gonna go. Thank you.
Next up, we'll have Kate. I'm asking you to unmute, Kate.
I think I unmuted. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, thanks a lot for taking my question. I have a couple questions. The first one is, could the BC please expound a little bit on the reason for the settlement fund being under Department of Interior instead of a bank to distribute the bear settlement? The second question is really for the individual BC members. I wrote an email last week requesting information about the settlement. I mean the monies that were distributed from the Quapaw Treasury. And I didn't get one response. I sent one to each and every BC member, and I didn't get a response, and I'm just wondering what's the best way to contact you all, and when we have closed meetings, what's the best way to look at the agenda before the meeting starts? Thanks.
I was just going to talk about the communication for a minute, Chairman.
Sure, go ahead. Callie?
I do not recall seeing your email. I have received several emails, and we have been responding to them left and right. So I apologize that you have not received a response from us. What was the other question? That was. Oh, wait. One thing that you can do, we have a universal email address. It is business.committee@quapawnation.com, and that will go to every single one of us instead of doing individual email addresses as well. And then what was the next question? And the posting of all of our documents, our resolution, meeting minutes, things like that, we are doing our best to get it out there quicker, to get it on there. We're working with the Quapaw Post, trying to get everything pushed out as quick as possible. So yes, just like with the resolution that we're going to upload, we will get everything else uploaded for you guys to view as quick as possible. Is there anything else?
Actually, it was the question about the response from the email was for everyone, and I guess I'm just kind of wondering if I don't get an answer from an individually addressed email, then are you answering the ones to the business committee? Collectively, I'm not sure.
I'm guessing that your email is probably stuck in quarantine somewhere and we haven't received it yet, because I'm looking up here and everybody's nodding as if they haven't received it. I could be wrong, but apologies. Please send it again and we will answer it.
I'll just have to say it's very frustrating, and I realize we're all in COVID times and everything's difficult. But communication with the BC has not been it's not been good for me. I'm really not very happy with the Quapaw Post either. There was really no direct communication from the BC as far as specifics about dates and times and plans, and there were a lot of information about tribal members and all that's good. But it's extremely frustrating out here in the world to try to find out what's going on, and maybe some of the reasons why there are so many conspiracy theories, as you said, or rumors or whatever, is because we're not hearing directly from anyone, really. I've seen a couple posts on social media, but that hardly seems like a good method to discuss business with is on some of those sites. And I feel just really kind of just dismissed by you all. So I mean, if we're not allowed to, if it doesn't work to contact you by email, there's not a lot of information in the Quapaw Post, direct information from the individual BC members, of course, outside of the campaign or whatever. But maybe it's more of a statement, because apparently I'm not getting the answer that I want. But this is my statement as a Quapaw citizen out there in the world trying to find out what's going on. It's been extremely frustrating, and also too, if you could please just explain why in the heck are we going through the Department of Interior, or why do you seek to go through the Department of Interior for this distribution?
Why would we want to use a bank and spend more money?
Do you mind?
Say what?
Go ahead, Guy.
Yeah, I'd actually love to go ahead and explain that. So, as you'll see in the next couple of days, through the resolution that was just passed by everybody sitting up here, in the event that monies are received by the tribe, they instead would be placed into a trust account and distributed through the mechanism of a bank. transactional expenses and everything will be borne by the tribe. That will be that. Now, the enforceability of that resolution upon the Department of Interior, I don't know. The reason, really, I guess, why the Department of Interior has the authority to distribute it is because that's what they negotiated in the final settlement in Bear. And that is actually what is included in the final settlement that was approved by the Chief Review Counsel for the U.S. Court of Claims. So that is a power that the Department of Interior has that they can exercise or not exercise. In the event that they decide that they do not want to distribute the money, they'd rather give it to the tribe and have it distributed through the tribe. I think this resolution does put together a good mechanism, and I agree with you at that point in time. I think it should be placed in a trust account through a bank, not being touched or tampered with by the business committee, so that it can be distributed correctly. I'm not sure whether or not that's going to be an issue for myself to ever have to deal with. As I had mentioned earlier, I can think of at least two other tribes right now that are awaiting congressional action, and it is pending, at least in terms of their settlement actions, and they are, I think one has been pending for 5 years, the other's been pending for 11. So we just introduced our authorization bill a couple of weeks ago. This is going to be a long process. I don't want to give people unrealistic expectations. I think that the discussion about this really has put the cart so unbelievably before the horse. I think that there's a very long road to being able to work with Congress or to lobby Congress in order to get this authorized that has yet to happen. But I agree with you that if in the event the Department of Interior does not decide to exercise its rights guaranteed to it in the settlement agreement, then yeah, we should definitely be putting it in a trust account through a bank so it can be distributed safely.
The original question on the email that nobody found was that I had a request that the money that was removed from the Treasury to be redistributed to certain tribal members. I just wanted to have an accounting of that money, the total amount, the amount that was distributed individually to the beneficiaries, any professional costs with that, how the accounting methodology that was applied to it, and also any administrative costs in that, have that information available to Quapaw citizens, either through whatever method that you have that we can see actually the figures in front of us.
Yeah,
That's what the request was.
In terms of the accounting on it, that shouldn't be an issue. In terms of our costs, that shouldn't be an issue. For clarification, that money did not come out of Treasury. It came out of a trust account. It's being held in trust by the Bank of Oklahoma. But in terms of how much has come out, how much is distributed, how much was spent in terms of administrative costs, transactional fees, postage, there's quite a bit of bounce back fee from letters and postage. It's hard to get good mailing addresses for people. We've got all of that. The only sticking point I can give you is that if you're requesting individual information, like how much individual tribal members or individual claimants were paid, that is a confidentiality issue for this business committee. That's not something that we can publish. Those individuals are free to tell the world, but we are duty bound not to release that. But in terms of all of the hard cost accounting, that's fine. Yeah, we can make that available.
So if confidentiality is an issue, can you just number the claim of the beneficiaries, or somehow it would be hard to come up with a accounting methodology if it's just one big lump sum of what was given to the beneficiaries. You see what I'm saying? So if you could possibly have the amounts, maybe if you want to redact the names, or number them, or letter them, or something like that, then we'd have a better idea. And also how the accounting methodology, how it was done, who did that, and how much they were paid for figuring this all out. The professional fees, whether it was accountant, CPA, or whatever, whoever decided the amounts for each individual claimant, and you would still be able to conserve their confidentiality about who got what. But it's still, as a tribal member, we should be able to know how much each individual beneficiary got, even if we don't know who their names are.
Yeah, I think that there can be some form, something that could be redacted, but I can, that, like I said, we can't do a name. You know, it's up to that person. It's their confidential privilege, you know, that they can release or not. You know, it's up to them. You know, I can't tell you that Joe Smith received, you know, $2,000. You know, he'll have neighbors and cousins and everybody else hitting him up, and more importantly, they may not want their personal business aired out like that, and we don't have the right to disclose it. But I'm sure that we can either assign it a number or do something completely redacted.
Okay, and then make that available to the citizens, either through your website or something, so we could all just be able to look at the figures ourselves.
Yeah, we're going through some maintenance on our website right now, to where we're trying to make it to where we have documents and forms more readily available for tribal members, making them searchable and usable and everything. So I think that this would be a perfect opportunity to start utilizing some of those new functions. So yeah, but that's not a problem.
All right, thank you.
Thank you,
Katie.
All right, next up I have Kelly Flanagan. I'm asking you to unmute.
Hello there, this is Kelly Flanagan calling from Oklahoma City. How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing dandy. My question is based on what we discussed last month about the powwow grounds and the rendering that we saw. I haven't seen any updates or any kind of information, so I was just wondering what the plans are. I know you're redoing the parking lot and all that right now, but you know, next July is going to come around pretty quick, and so I was just kind of curious as to what the plans going forward are.
So appreciate your question. There has obviously not been any movement physically to the grounds since we last spoke or had our meeting. I will say that during the course of that time, the team that got together on the construction side and on the architecture side, and even our owner rep, is putting together a rough estimate cost that will be presented to the business committee, and the word that I received was Wednesday. So they're going to have a good estimation as what that cost would be. I told them that our the electric and the water, and addressing the issues and bringing all that infrastructure up to speed. And then the other prioritized issue is the issue of the bathrooms and the shower, basically redoing that infrastructure. And then I'm really kind of just like sequencing this because we still have to pave the roads. That's also a pending project that needs to be commenced pretty soon as well. And we're waiting to figure out how we want to proceed with that. And like I said, we're really just waiting on a rough estimate cost. And then once we have that and we have all of our ducks in a row, we'd like to call another town hall meeting to discuss this particular issue. Hopefully we can do it outside when it's cooler to talk about some things. You know, there were a lot of good things that came from our presentation, and then there were some people that had some not so good things to say about our presentation. People, you know, it's all about the objective eye, or the subjective eye rather. So whatever we do, we will do it in concert with members of the Powwow Committee, Cultural Committee, and any other committees that feel they need to be represented on the decision-making process. But it's something that we are extremely excited to move forward with and continue pushing the envelope for this to happen. In anticipation of our 150th. So I don't know if I answered your question, but that's the update that I have.
All right, well, that's good. Will there be any further rendering, or is what the rendering that you presented last month be the final choice?
No, that was not the final choice. That was like Joseph's bird, big pie in the sky kind of idea. That's why we have 1 of 7 votes on the business committee to kind of bring people back down to reality, I guess. But no, the final renderings, those are not the final renderings. Those were just all concept art at that point, which the Quapaw Nation received free of charge from the architecture design group, by the way. So we got 6 free consultations to really do that. And, we worked with some of the culture committee and then the maintenance and then elders committee to really hone in on some of those ideas where they wanted to see the project go, and kind of their wish list items as well. So it's a decision that is far from being concrete, but we hope to have a lively discussion and really gather input from the community and from our citizens as we continue.
All right, good. That sounds great. I did have, I thought of another question and it kind of went out of my brain. So are you gonna, is the business committee able to help any of the citizens upgrade their camps? Because when I was out there at Powwow this year, some of those camps have been like that been the same for 40 or 50 years, because I've been there that long. I was just wondering, is that up to the individual camp owner, or is there any kind of funds or applications or whatever available to help individual families update their camps?
Yeah, so that's a really great question. I'm glad you brought that up. Any maintenance or repairs are usually done in concert with Donna's, tribal admin department, and then also I think maintenance is involved with that. And I know that there are those individuals whose camps may be up for an update or a renovation, and they opt not to take that option. They don't want us or anyone else to touch their camps. So there is that to consider. But then also, I think it's important to note that with this powwow renovation, with the grounds themselves, that's all we're really talking about. We wanted to put that out there that we were not going to do anything structurally to the camps. The only thing that the camps are going to be affected by is how we run the electric and or the water system through the park.
Oh, that's good because electricity and plumbing is a big deal.
Well, our goal is to try to get electric and plumbing to each and every camp. And fingers crossed, maybe some Wi-Fi. I don't know.
Oh, that would be awesome. Also, I would just like to make one statement. I don't know if any of you guys knew my mother. Her name was Georgiana Bear. She was the Oklahoma semi-centennial princess in 1957. And I will be meeting with Karen Hildreth on Friday next week to contribute to loan the museum my mother's dress and beadwork and a bunch of other memorabilia that I have. So I'd like for y'all to just come out and check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for your contributions to the museum. That's a area of pretty large significance. And I make an announcement and encourage everyone else that's listening on Zoom to come and check out you said your grandmother?
No, it's my mother.
Your mother, Georgiana Bear, and her regalia and other pieces of memorabilia.
Yeah, she was killed in a car wreck in 1977, right up there by Buffalo Ranch in Afton.
Okay. Well, thank you again for that announcement, and we'll be sure to check that out. Thank you for contributing that.
Well, thank you for listening to my comments. I appreciate it. You guys have a blessed day.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good weekend.
You as well.
I have a Brent Whitecrow who would like to speak next.
Okay.
I'm asking you to unmute Brent Whitecrow.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I actually have a question about the casinos. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, Brent.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm not used to not having feedback. I am curious about the casinos. Are any of you do any of you know the minimum wage for Missouri right now?
I know that they've had a recent adjustment. $11.50 an hour is what I recall seeing last.
It's currently $10.30, going to $11.15, going to $12 in 2023.
Yeah.
The reason I bring this up, we have departments starting people at $9 an hour, and with Missouri and Joplin in particular being one of our huge pools to pull people from, we're not able to get good quality candidates. I know we are hemorrhaging people over at Downstream, and we can't get anyone in. I understand that on a lot of the lower end positions, they're seen as intro positions, but it's hard to get people into those positions where we're not even being competitive with pay.
No, Brent, you're absolutely right. So this is like most things, a multi-layered issue. So we'll go ahead and just start from the top. We have an issue with EOOC federal employment law that when you create a suite of employees and offer some of them benefits, you are required to offer them to all of your employees unless you can create some sort of legal bifurcation, which we are in the process of doing. So, for example, our benefit suite for our employees accounts for about 38 cents on every payroll dollar at Downstream. So somebody, for example, if they're starting out at $11 or $12 an hour, In reality, they're realizing about $20 an hour in terms of pay and benefit. Now, not everybody actually utilizes all of those benefits. We have some individuals that are young, that do not have children, that do not, maybe they don't want to opt into the health insurance. We don't have a program set up for that, and there hasn't been one in the past. This has been like a 4 or 5 month long project of trying to get this ironed out, but we actually have a plan in order to go ahead and rectify that issue so that we can do, or at least have better retainment and better recruitment for line level staff, and so that we can go ahead and increase their pay for those that don't want, need, or utilize things like their 401k or administrative fees associated with COBRA or other health insurance related. We can increase that pay in order to become competitive. Unfortunately, we're bound up with federal employment law right now. But I'm actually thinking that we're only a couple of weeks away from being able to get that solved. So, but no, I appreciate you bringing it up, but it is something that's been at the forefront of our mind. I think that employment retention kind of nationwide has been an issue, but we definitely need to remain competitive in order to keep a good, qualified workforce there. So.
Awesome. I was just making sure you guys knew the situation, and I'm happy something is in the works to be done about it. Thank you.
We appreciate it. I mean, I think that's, I see a comment right here in the chat that benefits don't put food on the table, and I 100% agree. I think that this is a system that's probably been in place for the last 13 years when they originally designed the benefit suite, and that was always a way to attract employees to say, we have excellent benefits when you come in. Problem is that the benefits are not free to the company, and for budgeting reasons, that's a problem. And then even for federal employment law, that's a problem. So we're getting that reorganized so that we can put cash in their bank account, because cash puts food on the table. So thank you.
Thank you.
There was no one else in queue for open forum.
If there is no other open forum, we'll go down into closed session.
What's he saying? No, I'm over going, Jeremy.
Okay, we're all back on, including Mr. Turley. We're good on the Zoom, Michael? Okay, we're going to keep rolling on the agenda. Coming out of closed session, Mr. Secretary Treasurer, if you could give an update on that.
Business Committee met in closed session to discuss an appeal related to the emergency or EFA, and as well to hear the decision of the grievance committee in regards to a petition on the recent election. Grievance committee has met and reviewed the information. They will not be recalling the 2021 Quapaw Nation election, and we will proceed with the official swearing in of officers at the next regularly scheduled business committee in September.
All right, thank you, Guy. Moving down into benediction. Jeremy, you mind closing us out in prayer?
Yes, sir. Wakanda Creator, come to you here at this time, dear Lord, just thankful for another day, thankful for this rain this morning, dear Lord, all the things that it represents here, this cleansing time this morning, just thankful for the being able to come together and do business today. We're just thankful for your life, dear Lord. We know that you guide us and give us strength and courage every day to just put our best foot forward. We just ask that you might be with those in mourning today, dear Lord, those who have lost loved ones, those who maybe might have a family member sick, or those who are struggling with addiction, depression. Those things here, they're here in our families here, and we just ask that you might look down on us like that today and take care of those things and just give us a good outlook on life here, dear Lord. We're just thankful for you. We know all things come to you first, dear Lord, and we just ask that you might look down on us today and bless us. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Move to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn by Guy,
Second.
second by Lloyd. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you.